What drew you to music in the first place?
Honestly, ever since I was little, I could remember just music everywhere, especially when I was in my dad's drop top. It was like a purple Mustang. He always played like amazing R&B songs from like the 80s and 90s. And I remember that as a child, I probably had to be like 3 or 4 years old, but I just remember that instance of just music playing. We're driving wherever we were going. And so I think from there and it started. And just from on and on, it's like, because music it's everywhere. You really can't escape it. And
Mhm.
so it's best to just embrace it.
That's an interesting way to put it.
Yes.
Just embrace it. I mean,
For
some
real.
something interesting to that point. I'm reading a book called uh I honestly forgot the title. I feel bad now, but
That's all good.
it's a book that relates spirituality in music, and it basically goes into this idea that music is permeates into every single thing that we do because
Literally. Yep.
music is rhythm, and so we breathe in rhythm and we walk in rhythm, and you know there's just rhythm everywhere in our lives. So if you choose to look at it as it's music, it's really literally always there.
Always. You cannot escape it. Which I
Yeah.
don't mind. I don't want to escape it, but it's all literally every way you turn, it's music somehow.
You mentioned you would be driving around with your dad. Where did you guys live?
I lived in Cleveland, Ohio during that time.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you
Good
still
old
have
Cleveland.
family over there and stuff?
Yeah, my grandmother and my some of my aunts and uncles still live there. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
why they want to still live there, but they do. They definitely
um,
do.
can you name a track that was like that you heard during that time that was particularly influential to you, like pursuing music the way you did?
Honestly, I would have to go with the Frankie Knuckles song called Your Love. I
Mm-hmm.
heard it when I was very little, really didn't think anything of it, but because my mother would play house music all the time. And I think as I got older on the video game GTA, they had it on there. And I was like, man, it's like the song is a classic. It's just timeless. I don't know. It was just like, I wish I could make something as dope as that or to be as classic and timeless as that. And so I think that was probably one of the main songs that really like especially pushed me to be a DJ in house music, but not only to start making house music as well.
Yeah, I mean those Grand Theft Auto soundtracks are just top
They're
tier.
legit and they have good quality songs on there. They really do.
So with that early inspiration, when did you take it to DJing?
Honestly, it wasn't till I moved to LA when back in I think 2016 when I
Mm-hmm.
got here with the Navy. I was based here. I had a group of friends who were like forcing me to DJ because I was always like the one on the aux cord picking like the dope songs. And like I kept the energy going when we were in the car or whatever. So they just kept like pressuring me to do DJing. And at first I was reluctant. I was like, no, I don't think so. But then they just kept pushing me and pushing me. And then eventually I gave in, bought my little DJ thing. I can't remember which version it was, but it was small. And from there, I just like taught myself in my barracks room in the military base after work every day until I was like comfortable enough to be like, hey, hit up my friends to go DJ at one of their parties.
Was that party like a house party or an actual like at a venue and stuff like
No,
that?
it was actually a hip hop and R&B party because all my friends that I knew at the time only did those. So I didn't really know anyone in house music, but I
Mm-hmm.
went into DJing, wanted to do house music, but I just didn't know anyone until I eventually started venturing off. And then COVID happened in Twitch, and I was able to really like showcase that.
Yeah, cool. Um, how would you compare DJing hip hop and R&B to house music? Because I DJ house and techno, and I
Yeah.
mean the most standout thing for me is just the beat matching, the
Yep.
constant four on the
That's true.
floor. And hip hop and R&B do not have a set beat like that. So I guess like how do you approach them differently in terms of like building
Well,
out a set and things like that?
true. House music is way easier to DJ. Honestly, it's like counting one, two, three. That's how easy it is compared to
Yeah.
hip hop. Because hip hop, there's a lot of elements that go into place. You have to match the lyrics on the beat. It's like so many different things. And so I feel like it takes more effort to DJ hip hop than it does
Mm-hmm.
with house music. Because, like you just say, you're just beat matching. But with hip hop, you got to think of the lyrics. Where does the lyrics sound right in this drop, or where should we drop the lyrics here? Because that's literally all it is. So it's a little bit more tedious work.
So it's focusing on the lyrics rather than kind of
The
like,
beat match, yeah.
yeah.
Like, does the lyrics go right with this, and also the and kind of also the beat too. That's the hard part, because
Mm-hmm.
when you're mixing two beats together and the lyrics, it's not like separate how you can do in house music sometimes. So it's a little difficult.
Yeah, and I mean, with hip hop and R&B, it would strike me that people are waiting for the lyrics.
Yep, they,
You
they
know,
are.
that's what they want to hear more than anything. Whereas
They
with
do.
house and techno, I mean, sure there are the few songs that they might know the lyrics, but it's not like as definitely not as necessary as it was
No,
before.
no. All in house, it's just all about the groove of the music, and hip hop. They want to hear, oh, this verse, and everybody singing along.
I also read that pretty soon after you started DJing, you were already playing like pretty respectable parties, like in clubs and stuff like that. Could you tell me about kind of how you got there from once you were like got
Um,
your hang of DJing?
Honestly, it did. I think because I would book myself for certain parties. Like, I would reach out to venues and promoters, and they would hit me back and say, "No, I don't think you're a good fit," or "Yes, you're a good fit." But then I think I did this one party in San Diego at the Flamingo Deck, and I was supporting the artist Vanessa, and I guess her whole crew came. She had her agent, and then from there, I literally met her agent Hamilton, who I'm with now. We just talked and told him he thought I was dope, thought I did a really good job. And so we had a meeting, I think that following week. And then literally after that meeting, a week later, he had me on all these festivals. And so it happened pretty fast.
Are you talking about the festivals like Insomniac and all that stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Um, the Flamingo Deck gig. So that was how? When was that?
That was, I think, in early 2021. So it was last year, but it was early in the beginning of the year that I had booked myself for that.
Mm-hmm. And so before that, you're doing, I mean, you and everybody were doing a ton of the live streams.
Yes.
And so I guess a question would be, how did it feel? You know, because one thing the live streams did for everybody was gave them tons more freedom to play what they wanted.
Mhm.
And so you were all in the hip hop and R&B, but with the live streams gave you the chance to like really like play out your house and techno the way you
Yes.
wanted. So like,
Yes.
how was that experience like for you? Like, how did that support you in the
Honestly,
middle of quarantine?
oh yeah, it definitely helped me a lot just to get my name out there, to say that, oh hey, this girl plays house music. And so I felt like that was a great platform to use, because everyone was at home, no one was going anywhere, they were bored, so they were on Twitch. And so I felt like it played a huge part in helping me, giving that leverage to be able to book things, I guess, so early on. And I was also doing shows with Fem House
Mm-hmm.
on Twitch as well, which was respectable by PGOB. So it definitely helped out a lot for sure.
Cool, cool, cool. What were some of your like favorite live stream nights when you were in quarantine?
I guess would be Fem House Fridays, because it would be like we each had an hour set, and then it would be like all the top girls for each hour for the whole day. And so I thought that was pretty dope. And we would pass it on to each other and like shout each other out, support each other. It was really dope.
How is it when you transition from the live streams playing house to those like gigs and to those big festivals? Was it, I mean, I guess just how did that feel for you to, you know, finally be playing that at these awesome
Yeah.
festivals?
Well, it wasn't too much of a change for me. I think it was because I had played like clubs beforehand with the hip hop. So it was just basically going into a new environment, everyone's starting fresh again. So it was honestly refreshing to be able to start playing live and to actually see the people vibing and dancing to your music instead of in the comments on Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was like the best experience about it, is to being able to see everyone vibe with you in real life.
Cool, cool, cool. And at what point in this journey were you starting? Did you start making your own music?
Honest, the first, literally right after I got out the military in 2020, December 2020. Then that's when I got into school, literally that next month of 2021. And I started grinding into making music. So I knew that was the only way that I could actually excel to higher heights with it.
Mm-hmm.
So right when I got out the military in early 2021.
Was that just like the end of a tour type deal, or I mean, I don't know much about the military.
No, no, no. Yeah, I had did 4 years,
Okay.
and I was my last day was, I think, December 2020.
Mm.
And so that next month, I was done, no military, and I went right into school at the Los Angeles Recording School. And so that's when I started learning how to produce.
How would you think that having the DJ, being a successful DJ before you were producing, how do you think that affected your music? Because in today, that's how it used to always be. Like back in the
Yeah.
day, everybody was a DJ first, and
Yeah.
then they started making music. Now it's usually the opposite. Everybody starts making music, and then I mean, a lot now we're
Yeah.
in a
Yeah.
now we're in a phase where DJing, quote unquote, isn't necessary. People will come up with their own
True. Well, yeah, you
little
could do that.
sets.
That's true. But I
Yeah.
honestly, I'm a DJ first, if anything. Producing
Hmm.
came second for sure. Because DJing is my passion.
Yeah. But when you did sit down to make music, how did
Yeah.
having that sort of underlying understanding of how to make a crowd work affect your productions?
It made it a lot easier because I know for me, I love grooves, like groovers. Like if the song is not a groove, it's not gonna work. So that's when I'm out there playing songs. They're all groovy. They're all like very energetic. So when going into the studio, I always make sure the tracks are groovy, which because that's like my vibe. I love things that are very like you can just dance and move and have a good time with. So it
Hmm.
definitely plays a big part when I'm in the studio. I have to make sure the groove is just right.
I mean, do you know who Victor Wooten is? Do you know who that
No,
is? Oh,
never.
he's a famous bassist, and I read this book he had called The Music Lesson,
Hmm.
and he said basically like the groove was like the first chapter
Yep.
because it's the thing that you can't like quantify or can't
Right.
really tell someone how to do it. They just
That's true.
kind of got to figure it out on their own, and then if that person has figured it out, that's when the crowd figures it out with you.
True. That's
you know
true.
that kind of deal.
And see, I didn't know that, but see, I just thought for myself, like groove is made really important. So to know that other people are saying the same thing, that just solidifies it all.
Yeah, I mean, and with house music, I feel like there can be some confusion because it is so like metronomic and on the
Yeah.
beat, but like there's groove, like there's undoubted obviously there's like groove to it, and you can't just like slap a kick drum on the on the beat and have it
Yeah.
be like a banger. There has to
That's
be
true.
some kind of swing to it.
Yes, you have to have different elements. You got it's all about the groove.
Yeah. uh a label where you've put out a lot of your music is Popgang
Yes.
Records. How did you first connect with them?
I think I had met one of the co-owners at a Doll's Kill showcase that I was DJing in LA at
Hmm.
their flagship store. I guess he was playing before me. And so I guess he stayed a little bit after to see me play. He's like, "Oh, you're really dope." Like I was like, "Thank you." And then he was like, "Have you been working on any music and stuff? Would love to help you like put out your first song." And I was like, "Yeah, I would absolutely love that." And so that's how that relationship started. And I would get into the studio with them and we would come up with stuff. And so they actually helped me put those few songs out.
Yeah, I mean, I did research. You had like 5 or 6 tracks of them already,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Do you have anything coming up?
Yes, I do. Actually, February 11th, I'm releasing my debut on Insomniac Records.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, this Friday. It's called Your Tongue. So that'll be my first release for the year and on Insomniac.
Cool. Uh, what'd you like about working with the Pop King guys that brought you back for so many tracks?
Well, no, because they were just like super dope. They were very family oriented, which I really love.
Mm-hmm.
And also like I was still finding out more people. I didn't really know anyone. So those were the guys who I was familiar with. So that's mainly why.
Oh, nice,
Yes.
nice, nice. I know someone that you've worked with to a certain degree was Mary Droppins, Alyssa, and
Oh, yeah, yeah.
they've put out her tracks too.
Yes. Yeah. I introduced her to them. So it was like a whole big family.
Nice.
Yes.
Um, just keep kind of keeping it on that note. Now that things are opening up, like, what do you think of the house music community family in Los Angeles?
Honestly, I think it's gotten from when I first started, it's gotten a lot better. So I see there's like a lot more gigs, more people are embracing it more because I remember people saying LA really wasn't a place for house, but I feel like it's honestly growing to be um, probably another top contender in the US for a place for house music because a lot of festivals are happening here. There's a lot of underground parties as well. So I think it's definitely growing
Mm-hmm.
as to be a bigger and respected community.
Uh, when people would say like it's like not a place or house, is that when you would be DJing like the hip hop and the R&B stuff?
Well, no, that was just I guess talking to people who had been in the scene for a while. At least
Mm.
it wasn't as embraced as it is now.
Cool. Well, I mean, that has certainly changed
Yeah, definitely.
from my perspective.
True.
Cool.
It's getting better. I still feel like it's a little, iffy, but it's getting better.
um, what are you familiar with any other markets like that where it's maybe somewhere you'd like to play a lot?
Honestly, I'm still so fresh to everything, but the places that I have seen, like San Diego is a huge house market from what I've seen. They really go all out. It's probably another favorite place of mine to play as well. And New
Mhm.
York. New York was totally a vibe when I played there with Chris Lake. That was probably like one of the best parties I ever played. It was just so much fun, and to see everyone be in this little space. Well, it was a huge space. It was literally packed, sold out. So to see that, I think that was really dope, because I'm like, oh, the house community here is literally thriving, because I had never seen that here in LA.
Mm.
But
Yeah,
yes.
it was Chris Lake at the Mirage, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Was that a date one of the daytime
No,
shows?
no, they were all both of them were nighttime shows.
Okay, for sure. And I know they've done like a couple random. It's mostly night, but a couple
Yeah.
random ones are
Day
daytime
ones, yeah.
shows. Cool, cool, cool. One thing I noticed in doing research before the interview is that like a pattern for you just in general is you rise like very very quickly in whatever you've tried to do.
Sure,
What
true. Yeah.
like with the DJing and stuff, it's just like a few months after you start, you're playing parties. A few months after quarantine ends, you meet an agent and you're playing all these festivals. And not to say that the agent wouldn't have signed you and you wouldn't have maintained yourself if you didn't have the talent. And so I'm just wondering, what do you think it takes in general to like reach those levels and have that sort of growth at that rate? And that doesn't only have to apply to music, but I guess
Yeah.
just in
In
general.
life. Yeah. Honestly, being determined and motivated, and actually self-motivated, because a lot of people aren't really self-motivated. So I feel like when you have those two things, honestly, anything is possible. And also speaking positivity to the universe, because the words that you put out into the world are very powerful, because the universe is listening. So I
Mm-hmm.
just feel like if you have all those three things intact, and like staying consistent with what you want, things are bound to happen. Because I've always noticed, if you stop something, then everything stops. But if you keep going, something's going to happen. So I can't give up.
Where would you say you learned those values? Is that something from your family, just from yourself, or?
I honestly can't. If I wish I could remember. I grew up in a really good family. I'm sure I learned it in family, but I just think from me being the person that I am, I always
Mm-hmm.
knew I never wanted to be like comfortable in anything that I'm doing. I never wanted to be satisfied. I don't want to be a regular. I just wanted more out of life. And I always been like that since I was little. So I just think having that outlook and always wanting more, wanting to do the impossible, wanting to do things that everyone's not doing, I feel like that definitely helped stem my drive to be successful.
Yeah, absolutely. I
Yeah,
mean, congratulations on
yeah, thank
all
you.
the success. I mean, just one thing that really stuck out in that regard was as soon as you leave the military, you go to production school,
You
and
know,
the whole time you're also gigging. You
yeah,
know what I mean? Like, plenty of people, including myself, after a giant transition, would want to like at least take like a week off.
yeah. No, I trust me. I was ready to get out of the military probably my second year in. So I was like, I have to find something, but it just came to me naturally with DJing, and so
Hmm.
I just put all my focus into that. So whatever I could do while I was in to help me transition while I got out, it helped.
Hmm.
So yes, it was rough though, but I made it through.
Do you prefer the Beatles or Elvis?
Ooh, I have to probably say the Beatles, because they have more like classic tunes to me that I liked.
Hmm.
And they're like, well, and a lot of people embrace them. So I would say the Beatles. And they're from the UK, I believe. So
Yes.
yep, right up my alley.
That is for sure. They're from the UK.
Yes.
Do you prefer sitcoms or stand-up comedy?
Ooh, I prefer sitcoms.
What's your
'Cause
favorite sitcom?
probably it would have to be Living Single. It's yeah, it was from the 90s. I love 90s sitcoms.
Mm.
But yeah, those are that's my favorite one, because that is absolutely hilarious.
I would have to check it out. I've never heard of that one.
Yeah, it's with Queen Latifah. She stars in it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice. She must have been pretty young if it was the 90s.
Yeah, she was. She definitely was.
She has always been a boss. That's for sure.
Yes.
Coffee or tea?
Tea, because I do not like coffee. It gives me anxiety when I drink it. So definitely tea, especially green tea, because it keeps my digestive system clear.
I definitely get I get wired when I drink a cup of coffee. Like,
yeah,
I have to get the smallest size, and then I only drink half of it. I'm like, this is even still too much.
Well, yeah, I drank coffee for one of my sessions when I was in London, and I'm like, oh my God, why do I feel so jittery? It was just, I hate it so much.
Yeah. Biggie or Tupac?
Oh, Tupac for sure. I love Tupac. I love both of them, but Tupac, I definitely can like resonate more with poetry wise and the things he says.
Dogs or cats?
Cats, because they're independent. Like because me and cats they're independent, and so am I. I love how they do things on their own.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Robin or Pho?
Oh, Pho for sure. Yes. First, and I go to this place in North Hollywood that makes the best pho I've ever had. So
what's it called?
It's called Pho One. Yeah, it's Pho One.
It's just like pho, then the number one.
Number one, yeah.
All right, cool.
So they're number one, I guess.
Number one on HoneyLuv's list.
Yes, so good.
Pizza or sandwiches?
Sandwiches. I'm not really a big pizza person.
Club or festival?
I'm trying to think. I'll say a festival, because festivals, they go all out, and I like the animations they do.
Cool. Snow or beach?
Beach. I do not like the snow.
Lake or ocean?
Ocean. So much.
If you could have one superpower, would you choose flight or invisibility?
Invisibility.
Nice.
Definitely, because I would love to be a fly on some of these walls.
Get the inspiration for the tunes.
Yes. And see the drama. I love it.
Analog or digital?
Ooh, I'd say digital.
House or techno?
House.
Drum and bass or trap?
Trap.
Pop or hip hop?
Hip hop.
What's your favorite color?
Blue.
Eric Prides or Carl Cox?
Carl Cox.
Flip flops or shoes?
Shoes.
Finish this sentence. Before I die, I want to
travel the world.
Nice. Well, you're very close to doing that.
Yes.
So you're already doing that.